All right, welcome back to my Stanley Cup playoff previews. So here's the third preview between St. Louis and Minnesota. I have one more preview to release today before the playoffs start later on today, and that would be the series between the Oilers and the Kings, which I'll release shortly after this one. So this is going to be probably the closest matchup on paper and a very tough one to predict. All right, so let's get into it. So here's my bracket once again. Do a quick look at it. Another reminder that my playoff bracket video where I went through all this is in the playlist in the description below. So make sure to go and watch that if you haven't already to see my justifications on who's going to win. All right, so let's get into the preview between Minnesota and St. Louis. Game 1 is today in Minnesota at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, which is 9:30 p.m. Eastern and 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So let's go over the Wild. 53, 22, and 7, 113 points. Top 6 skaters, Kirill Kaprizov, Hartman, Zuccarello, Fiala, Gaudreau, and Boldy. The top 4 defense, Middleton, Spurgeon, Brodin, and Dumba. The goaltending, Cam Talbot, 32, 12, and 4, 2.76 goals against average, 9.11 save percentage. Marc-Andre Fleury, a new addition after the trade deadline, 9 and 2, 2.74 goals against average, 9.10 save percentage. The power play for Minnesota is 18th in the league. The penalty killing for Minnesota, 76.1%, 25th in the league. In the series, and the season series went to St. Louis 3-0, with the Blues outscoring the Wild 16-12. For the St. Louis side of things, they're 49, 22, and 11, 109 points. Top 6 skaters, Pavel Buchnevich, Robert Thomas, Vladimir Tarasenko, Brendan Saad, Ryan O'Reilly, David Perron. Top 4D is Scandella, Pareko, Leddy, and Falk. Goaltending, Ville Husso. A new name, maybe, for some of you. 25, 7, and 6. 2.56 goals against average, 9.19 save percentage. And Jordan Binnington, 18, 14, and 4. 3.13 goals against average, 9.01 save percentage. Power play for St. Louis is second in the league with 27%. Fifth in the league on the penalty kill with 84.1. All right, so let's go over some storylines here. So this has to be one of the most eagerly anticipated first round matchups, since both of these teams were maybe struggling a little bit before the trade deadline, but after the trade deadline, both of these two teams have been excellent. The Wild, first in the league in points collected since March 21st, 10-1 and 2 to secure home ice advantage. The Wild have redefined their identity under GM Bill Guerin after the buyouts of Zach Parise and Ryan Suter. St. Louis tied for second points since the deadline, and they resemble the team that won their first Stanley Cup in 2019. The shame is that one of these two teams, given the format, will be going home in the first round. It's a shame. Obviously, the big story for Minnesota is Kirill Kaprizov with 108 points. He's been great this year, and we'll see if that translates to a good playoff performance. For St. Louis, Vladimir Tarasenko is as good as always. And with the teams being so evenly matched, I have to think that the special teams are going to be a deciding factor. The St. Louis Blues, the second best power play against the 25th ranked penalty kill, is something that comes to mind. It could be a deciding factor for sure. The Blues, they've outscored the Florida Panthers since the trade deadline, averaging 4.58 goals per game. The Wild are ranking 6th in the league since the trade deadline and scoring just under 4 goals per game. So both of these teams have very good potent offenses. The Blues boast 9 20 goal scorers on their roster, and the Wild have 6. But with Matt Boldy being in that group, on pace for being in that group if he played the whole season. And Matt Boldy has been very fun to watch. Minnesota's defense has been 2nd in the league since the trade deadline, which is very interesting with Marc-Andre Fleury being a new addition. Since the trade deadline, he's been 9-2, and I have to think that Marc-Andre Fleury will be starting game 1 against St. Louis tonight against Ville Husso. I think that would be a pretty obvious thing. But what I've seen from Ville Husso is some very, very strong play. 25-7-6 on the year. The Blues, they've been prone to defensive letdowns, but Ville Husso has been a nice backbone for their somewhat inconsistent defense. Now the injuries, Torrey Krug is coming back from an upper body injury, and David Perron and Robert Bortuzzo playing late in the regular season, and Scandella and Braden Shen should be ready for game 1. So what I would expect here is some nice physical play. And I'm sure both teams will be trying to stay out of the box, especially Minnesota, who's struggling on the penalty kill. Better as of late, but still struggling. So I think the Blues will try to take that to their advantage. So let's look at some quick numbers here for Minnesota's forwards. Kaprizov, 108 points. Fiala, 85 points. Zuccarello, 79. Defense, Spurgeon and Brodin, highlighting that. For the Blues, Tarasenko, Thomas, and Buchnevich, and Falcon and Krug on defense. So my prediction here is going to be St. Louis in 7 games. Ville Husso, combined with their special teams, look like they have the edge right now. Honestly, this is the most coin flip prediction ever. It could go either way. Toss up for sure. I think Minnesota has some very strong offense. St. Louis even stronger. So we'll see how the defense and goaltending hold up. Marc-Andre Fleury with another playoff run after a tough one with Vegas last year. I think he'll look to bounce back. And for St. Louis, Ville Husso, his first real playoff appearance, and I hope he does well. So anyways, that's going to be it for my prediction here today. We have one more coming up. The Edmonton and LA preview will be coming up soon. And enjoy the hockey tonight, everyone. And take care.